Say, I want his identity. Yeah. Yeah, the things that pleases him, I want to please me. The things that displease him, I want them to displease me because I have the identity of Christ. And so again, I believe that we're struggling with a church culture that has the idea but not the identity. And you can show up in church every Sunday. You can show up every midweek worship experience and have the ideas of Christ. But I need you to have the identity of Christ. I need it for it not just to be a way of life, but I need it to be your life, all right? So when you take on the identity of Christ, you stop struggling with the ideas of Christ. You know that you only have a good idea when you're still in a struggle. When you're still wrestling and battling between this and that. I was telling somebody the other day that when you're fully in Christ, you fully and completely have no struggle. Why? Because there is no comparison. You can only struggle with things that are comparable or comparable. And when you understand that the things of the enemy and the things of God do not even stand in the same arena because light and dark are not the same thing, then they have no comparable nature, so you cannot wrestle and struggle with things that are not comparable or compatible. All right? Now stay with me for a minute. I promise you we're going somewhere. The only reason that you struggle with things is because, again, you have the idea but not the identity. When you have the identity, then you are able to distinguish and differentiate between things that do not occupy the same arena, the same space, and the same place. And so they are no longer comparable or compatible, and so I don't struggle with them. I am a fully heterosexual male, and so I've never struggled with being in love with someone of the same sex, because the same thing that is like me is not compatible or comparable for me. And so I will never struggle and have an identity crisis with another man because they're not even in the same arena with me. You understand that? Now, the things that I struggle with are things that are compatible and comparable. And so you've got to start looking at your life and seeing the things that you're giving weight and value and significance to. And why is it that a believer gives weight, value, and significance to sin? All right? So if I don't give weight, value, and significance to it, and I don't make it comparable or compatible to my identity in Christ, then I no longer struggle with it. All right? So everybody say that. I'm going to stop struggling with sin. Yeah, come on, say that. I'm going to stop struggling with sin. A saint should never be in a battle with something that is working contrary to his or her identity. Do you get that? Again, that's why, again, my identity is that of a heterosexual male. That's why something that is contrary to that is something that I can never wrestle with, because I will not give credence or value to something that does not invest in what my identity is. And so I'm not in a struggle with that. And so that's the same way it is with sin to a saint. And we're going to break this down because you got to understand this so that you stop warring within yourself, and that you stop warring and being divided within yourself about something that does not have the power or the authority or even the position to divide you. Sin no longer reigns in your members. Sin no longer reigns in your life. And so when I look at sin, it is not comparable nor is it compatible with my identity as a Christian. Does everybody get that?